objectives, singlet biconvex symmetrical objective lens. Now this is the new post for work, okay? A new board and new lenses, 47 millimeters in diameter and 1.5, 1.6 meter focal. Now we're going with a very short focal length lenses. You can see the tool. Okay, and we have here John. Okay, every single session on each side of the lens. Lens number 2, 2 minutes and 7 seconds, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Lens number 2, okay, so we're starting lens number 1, 8 millimeter thickness, diameter 47, focal length between 1.6, 1.5 in that range. And we have to do many sessions with 320 grid, almost 12 sessions, to reach a focal length of about 350, 300 millimeters focal length of the tool. This one we measure at the sun. Okay. The first session, the focal length is very short, so we need to keep going with 320 grid. It's perfect. Okay. I have signed the lenses so I can observe how this actual sign disappears during the grinding process. If the entire surface disappears, it's perfect. So these lenses are convex and this tool, it's concave, it's getting deeper and deeper. So the better the contact between the lens and the tool means the surface is very perfect. After the sign is completely gone, we flip over the lens on the other side. Okay. And we do this again and again. The first sessions with 320 grid, we're going to grind 2 minutes, and then at the end 3 minutes. I don't know if you can see the entire sign is disappearing uniformly on the entire surface, not only at the edge or at the center. The entire sign, the mark with a pencil, completely disappears entirely. Okay. Non mai știu. Cred că da. Sau eu? Nu mă întreba.
De ce să nu credem? Asta e chiar stupid.
Cred că da. Perfect. Okay, we're going to wrap the lens. Make sure if we are perfectly clean. See what we have done here. Okay. It's pretty well grinded. All the sign, the actual mark is gone. Left over. Okay, perfect. Lens number 1, phase 1 and 2. The two faces. Perfect for grinding. Okay, it's done. Okay, 2 sessions on each side. Okay, this is the time. 2 minutes and 10 seconds, 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So, at this point, I think the focal length is about 530 at the last lens centimeters, about 5.3 meters long, the focal length of the tool. After I grinded this session on 3 lenses, the first one is finished. Next one. Okay, I must reach a focal length of about 340, something like this, 330. after the grinding with the 320 grid, so I can go with a focal length of let's say going further with 25 micron after 300 centimeters, gradually grinding the lenses, the focal length gets shorter and shorter of the tool. So we measure only the tool, not the lens. It's impossible to measure. We don't have any tools. So we measure this tool and then we divide with 2 the focal length of this actual tool divided by 2 gives the focal length of these lenses, something like this. Let's say if the focal length is 3 point, let's say about 5.3 meters of the tool. So that means, okay, if the focal length of the tool it's 530 centimeters, or let's say 2, it's about 10 meters, 10 point, let's say 10 meters focal length of the lenses, plus minus 10 centimeters, doesn't matter. So we must reach a focal length of about 300 millimeters, let's say 300, okay. That means a focal length of the lens with the 320 grid of about 6 meters. So this abrasive, the 320 grid, cuts away from the surface of the tool something like 80 centimeters, okay. And 700, we are about here, minus 80, minus 80, minus 80. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions to make with this grid. Okay, when we reach 300, we change the abrasive with the aluminum oxide, another finer abrasive, 25 micron. And the 25 micron will cut away 60 centimeters, minus 40, minus, it goes very tiny as the grinding proceeds. Minus 60, minus 40, minus 30, something like this with the 25 micron. And then with a 15 micron, 20 centimeters cuts away, okay. And you arrive about, okay, 110. So it's about, let's say, not exactly, minus 10. It goes very slowly. It's only 3 sessions, 60. Gives a focal length of 1.2 meters. So we need to stop at 340, minus 60, minus 40. It decreases as you fine grind the lens. It will decrease after the couple of sessions. First time it will take away, if you grind 4 minutes, 60 centimeters with a 25 micron, 40 centimeters the next session, and 30 centimeters the last session. So it's 220, 210 centimeters, the focal length of the tool. And then we go to the 15 micron, 5 minutes we're going to grind. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions, minus, and then the 9 micron cuts away about 10 centimeters. When you grind 5.5 minutes or 6 minutes, and gives a focal length after 4 sessions of 90, minus 10, 80 centimeters of the tool. Okay, 80 or 2. Okay, we need to go to a focal length of about 80 or 70 centimeters of the tool to have a focal length of 1.6 meters or 1.5 meters of the lenses. So this is how the abrasive evolves. So I only guess how the focal length decreases by measuring the tool on the sun and going slowly and slowly until I go closer to the actual screen. I must reach a focal length of about 80 centimeters with all lenses completely grinded and free of intrusions and holes and everything. I must finish the lenses. I must finish the fine grinding with all lenses after I reach the focal length I desire. So only at the final grinding steps I must continue grinding with a 9 micron until I get to the right focal length. So this is the actual way I am grinding without a spherometer, without measuring the lenses, just going exactly as I planned with the number of sessions. Everything is timing in here, everything completely. I time all the sessions. Okay. You can see an example here. So going with the 320 grid, okay, 8 grindings, 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions with the lens. This is the other lenses. So this is the focal length of the tool, 700 centimeters, 5.3 meters, okay. As the grinding proceeds, I must reach a focal length of the tool about 350, 340 or 20 centimeters, in that range. So here with the 2.5 meter lens, you must finish at a focal length of 400 centimeters with the 300 grid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions. I must make more sessions to reach a focal length of 350 or 340. And then the 25 micron, okay, the number of sessions timing increases, so 4 minutes now, not 3 minutes at the last session with the 320 grid. And going, you can see the focal length of the tool measured at the sun, 340, 300, 270 centimeters. And then with the 15 micron, it arrives at a focal length of 196 centimeters. And then at the end of the 9 micron session, 128 centimeters is the focal length of the tool. And the lenses have, let's say 68 centimeters, something like this, has completely gone with 9 micron. After I finished with a 15 micron and arriving at 196 centimeters, I arrive at 128 centimeters with a 9 micron, and this cuts away 68 centimeters of the focal length. So this is how it measures. Okay, 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, going 5 minutes, find 5.48, and going to 6 minutes, and then 6.30 seconds, last sessions. Okay. I will see throughout the lens. After this, I'm going to measure the focal length of the tool at the sun. lens too. Trabajo. Perfecto. Okay, all lenses are perfectly grinded. The entire sign completely disappeared evenly on the surface. That's a good sign. Okay, perfect. Okay, the entire sign completely disappeared. The whole surface is perfectly grinded. No high spots, no low spots, no reflections. Okay, just perfect. So the focal length is very long at first, okay? About 12, 10 meters more than this. Okay. So we are about 5 meters or something like this. Very, very long. We must have 3 sessions. We have a lot of work to do to get to 5.3 meters or something like this. Okay. Oh, the focal length is super long. It's only a slight curvature of the tool, so the sun is not high enough to have a perfect measure. So I need to go outside and measure the tool on the sun. Okay, but the sun is not. There are some clouds. So you can see the reflection. Okay, as I go further, the reflection gets bigger and bigger. Okay, so I need to wet this, go outside, measure on the sun. We have a long board, something like 5.3 meter long. Okay, so we need to go through about 340, something like this, 300 centimeters of the tool. It's too short, so we don't have enough time to grind with our abrasives. So we need to go about 350s, something like this. We must reach to have a lot of time to grind the lenses, because if you do not grind them very well, it's not going to make a good polishing. So we need to have some, and we must have enough time to grind them. So we must stop at about 350s, something like this focal length. It's perfect to have enough sessions with all the fine grinding grids. So when we hit 350 centimeters, something like this, we immediately switch over to the 25 micron. Okay, this is rough grinding. This is not fine grinding, rough grinding. We're starting with 320, we're going as we progress with 25 grid, 50 grid, and 9 micron grid. Okay, that's the actual order. So as the grinding progresses, okay, we must grind grind the lenses completely even on the surface, and the actual time required for a session with the fine grinding grid increases. So we grind with the actual 25 micron grid about 4 minutes. And as we progress with the fine grinding with the 25 micron at the last sessions, we grind about 4.3 minutes. Okay, And then with a 15 micron we grind 5 minutes, and then with the 9 micron 5.5, or even 6 minutes or 6.5 minutes at the last sessions. So as the grinding progresses, it will cut away slower and slower. At the starting of the 25 micron, the focal length of this tool, using the first sessions and after the 25 micron going as planned, the first sessions with the 25 micron will cut away 60 centimeters, and then the next session 40 centimeters, and the last session 30 centimeters. So as the fine grinding progresses, it will cut away slower and little. Okay. Okay. So all the lenses are perfect now. Let's see how to hold this thing. If your hands are clean and not sweaty. Okay, a little this. Every time we must do this. Okay, every time. This is how we test if the entire surface is perfectly grinded. Okay. It's well grinded. There are no high spots or, let's see, reflections. We started very well. A big surprise. So this is just anyhow the actual grinding is working. If the entire sign completely disappears after the first minute of grinding, that's the clue. That will tell you how the surface interacts with the concave tool, and how well the entire surface is grinding. If the entire sign disappears, that's telling you you are in good contact with the concave tool. So if I grind with a 320 grit 5 minutes, switching another lens, it will have a lower radii of curvature than this one. So the other side is much flatter than this side. So it will not perfectly grind uniformly if I grind with 320 grit more time, let's say after the entire grid is completely useless, 5 minutes. It will not work. It will take a lot of time to grind and reach the surface to be completely uniform. So you must grind less at the beginning and the more at the end of fine grinding with 9 micron, 50 micron, something like this. Okay, so at the start of rough grinding, we must take about let's say 2 minutes, something like this. And as the rough grinding progresses, we go into the actual grids, the finer grids. We grind more, 4 minutes with 25 micron, and so on. Because those grinding grids will not take away so much surface as this one. So if I grind 5 minutes with a 320 grid, it will not grind at the middle. So only the edge grinds, and the center remains unfinished, reflective, flat. This is not good. So the entire surface must grind. So if you stick with 5 minutes on the entire grid, at the end you will have the surface of the center part of the lens completely ungrinded, and this will not polish. This is a clue. These are the first lenses. You can see the metal is not polished, only in the edge is not polished at all. Okay, you can see some little points there. This is the last, this is the actual remains of the 9-micron grid. There are little points there. It's not affecting the image at all, okay? I don't care because this lens has a focal length of 1 meter, okay? But it not affects the views. But this is what happens when you grind too much. You must grind lesser and lesser with the, let's say, finer abrasive with a rough grinding. Okay, what is the focal length? I must reach about 1.6, 1.5 with the new lenses. This lens has 1 meter. Okay, only the middle part is left over and the edge is not polished completely. It's okay, the lens is very good, but the old recipe was not good at all. So grinding with the 320 grit less 2 minutes each lens, and then at the end of rough grinding about 3 minutes, this will have a good contact. The entire sign completely disappears and the center and the edge is completely grinded. So okay, everything is completely noted down. You must have a journal or you lose track. You finished. Okay, this is another one. Okay, the center of the lens, it's very shiny. I don't know if you can see. This is a completely useless lens. I don't know if you can see in the reflection a little spotlight. Okay, this is what happens if you don't grind the lens. This center is not grinded at the end of fine grinding, so this lens is useless, and the edge, only the edge is polished. So these lenses were grinded with the 320 grit 5 minutes each session, and because of the grinding, the lens hadn't time to grind the entire surface, so you need to start less time at the beginning and go more and more grinding time. The timing of the grinding increases with the finer grids, and then you have a perfect surface. Okay, and this is the lens that's polished with the paper. Okay, paper polishing. 2.5 meters the focal length of the lens, and the diameter is 47, the same diameter as the lenses we grind. And this one is it's perfectly grinded, but it's a little hazy due to the actual polishing on paper. This is how 17th century lenses would look like. But the surface is very good, the quality of the lens is very good, and this little haze doesn't affect the image. It's very good, the lens is very well polished. All the actual surface points completely disappear. It's like a filter, okay? The lens acts like a filter. There are no high spots and there are no holes or pinholes, nothing. It's a little haze left over for the polishing on paper, but the entire lens, as you can see, it's perfectly polished all the way on the surface. The entire surface is perfectly polished. Okay, let's go. Now these lenses will have a focal length of 1.5, 1.6, something like this. Even 1.7, it's in this range, okay? You cannot achieve a perfect focal length. It's very hard with these lenses. It's too much, it's very hard to get a perfect focal length with this very short, very little radii of curvature. grinding on an oversized tool, like in the 17th century, it increases the grinding process. The effect of grinding is much more strong than when you grind with discs having the same diameter and having 1 1/3 strokes. Grinding on an oversized tool and get the lens almost to the edge, and do not cross over the edge of the tool. Go to the edge of the tool with the edge of the lens, and this is perfect. So we must measure the focal length. This is the end. Okay, I will go outside and measure the focal length, and then we will continue grinding until we reach a focal length of 350 centimeters, something like this, with the tool.